In this video, we'll try and finish all our the complete response file and also the adapter.go file, which is inside adapter folder, inside repository folder, inside internal. Okay, so internal, inside that is repository, inside that is adapter, and we have adapter.go file. We'll complete that file, and also our response.go file. We'll complete it right now quickly. All right. Now the status OK function, which returns the status OK when everything has gone well, basically a status of 200, accepts W, which is HTTP dot response writer, and accepts R, which is HTTP dot request, accepts data as well, which is type interface. Fix the spelling of data. And all of these functions now will call the new response function. So I'm calling the new response function here. I'll pass data. As you can see, the new response function takes data, right? So now everything will start making sense to you. And here we'll send status OK dot send response W, R. So we're using both the new response. We'll create the new response, and then we'll send the response like this. All right. Similarly, so we have used basically both our new response and send response functions, okay, to create a new response and then send it. All right. Similarly here as well, when we have no content, we'll say W HTTP dot response writer, comma R, request HTTP dot request, and data, which is of type interface. Actually, since there's no content, we have to send status no content. That means there will be no data, right? So it won't accept any data. And then you have new response, which will send for data. Instead of data, we'll send nil, and we'll send HTTP dot status no content dot send response W, comma R. Then we'll send status bad request, which will be W HTTP dot response writer, comma R star HTTP dot request, comma error, which is of type error. Okay, so in the bad request, you'll send to get data, you're saying map string interface. Inside that, we'll define the error. And in the new response, we'll send the data and HTTP dot status bad request dot send response W, comma R. Now for 404 status not found, again we'll pass W dot response writer, comma R star HTTP dot request, comma error. Again we'll use the same data, which is map string, sorry. Yeah, so I was going right, string, and then interface error, err dot error. And we'll call the new response function again, pass data to it, HTTP dot status not found dot send response W, comma R. Similarly for 405, again 405 takes these two things, so I'll just copy and just paste these two things. Okay, and here you'll say new response. For data you'll pass nil, because this method is not allowed, so you don't have to process any data. So you'll say status method not allowed dot send response W, comma R. And here you'll take these three things, put them here, status conflict. And for status conflict, you'll copy and paste this data line. And in the new response, you'll just copy and paste this, paste it here. For 500, this whole thing will be the same. And this will accept, again, these three things. Awesome. So our response.go file is complete. Now coming to the adapter file. You have to first create the interface. This interface basically will have all of these functions like health and find one, find all. So let's create that. So we'll say health. Returns a boolean. Then you have find all. It accepts some parameters. It returns some. What does it return? It returns response of type dynamodb.scan output, comma, header. And what does it accept? You can see here, find all function. Okay, I've not defined what it accepts, but I can write it here. It's going to accept a condition. For find all, mostly the condition, as you know, we send an empty expression there, but still we have to send something. So I'll say condition, expression, comma, table name, which is equal to string. So this is your find all. Then you have your find one. Then you have your create or update, and then you have your delete function. So for find one, it's going to accept condition again, which will be like represented like this: map string interface, comma, table name string. And here what you're going to return is response, which is of type dynamodb dot get item output, comma, error. For create or update, you'll accept an entity type interface, and you'll accept the table name, and you'll return a response, which will be of type dynamodb dot put item output, comma, error. And then you have delete, which again accepts a condition. It's of type map, which has string and interface, comma, table name, which is a string, and response, which is type star dynamodb dot delete item output, comma, error. So we've defined our interface, which basically is a list of all these functions that we have down here. And the important function, the new adapter function, is what we need to work on right now. It accepts connection, which is of type dynamodb, and it returns an interface, right? So you'll return ampersand database, and for connection you'll say con, comma, log mode false. Then you're left with your find all function. So in the find all function, we've already defined what all it accepts and what all it returns. So we'll go to find all function, quickly say condition. It accepts condition, which is of type expression dot expression, comma, table name, and string. So in case you're wondering where this expression comes in, it's basically a part of the DynamoDB package. And just to be more sure, we'll say github.com/aws/aws-sdk-go /dynamodb/dynamodb attribute, and we'll import aws/aws-sdk-go/ dynamodb/expression. Okay. So in our FindAll, here we'll return response star dynamodb dot scan output comma error. And inside that, you'll create an input which will be of type dynamodb dot scan input. And here in the condition, you'll receive a few things. So you'll have to assign it to some values that basically will be used by DynamoDB to process the information and find from the database, right? So we'll send some condition. We'll send some names in the condition. So that's what we are looking for. We're looking for some values in the condition that is being sent to this function. There will be some filters as well, and there could be some projections. So we'll say projection. And then there will obviously be table name, which will be aws.string table name. And here you'll say expression attribute names. Fix the spelling of expression attribute names. So DynamoDB requires this from you, expression attribute names, and the condition you'll receive in this function, which will have names, you'll pass it here. And the other thing that DynamoDB requires from you is expression attribute values, and you need filter expression and projection expression. So the things on the left are the things that DynamoDB needs, and things on the right are what this function will receive inside the condition variable. All right, so our adapter file is now fully complete, and adapter basically has the functions that talk directly to the DynamoDB. Even if the syntax sounds really weird to you, you read DynamoDB documentation, you'll understand what this is. So all we're doing here is basically we're checking the health. We're basically using the FindAll functions, find one function, create or update and delete. The basic CRUD, right? This is just the basic CRUD, and these are all the functions that talk directly to DynamoDB. And the response has been defined by us here. We have defined how to get the environment. We have defined how to set up the logging. We have in our config we have set up our cores, and in the routes we have set up all the routes, right? Like all the health related routes and all the product related routes. And then we've also created functions like enable logger, timeout, cores, right? All the basic building blocks of the entire project. So I hope everything is making sense to you now. Now we have kind of been able to set up the basic building blocks, and now we can start working on our controllers in a while. We'll also work on our handlers in a while. All right. So in the next video, we'll continue. All right. So thanks a lot for watching, and do subscribe to this channel so that you come to know when these kind of videos come out. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.